nakanjalo siyacela ukuthi ngenhlonipho abesilisa abagqoke igqoko ngaphandle kwalabo abakugqoke njengemvunulo bayikhumule sonke nabathatha izithombe ke bame sonke sime siqonde izandla zisemaceleni ngoba sesizoqala ngomkhuleko wesizwe. Siyacela ukuthi we request that you stand wherever you are as we will be starting the national anthem. Can we request the national anthem to start? Thank you very much. We may be seated. Siyabonga sesikhulekile ngehubo lesizwe. Siyabingelela Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma onguMinister waka Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs. Sibingelele Mama Maite Nkwana Mashabane, Minister in the Presidency responsible for women, youth and persons with disabilities. Siyabingelela kundunankulu wesifundazwe saKwaZulu-Natal, umhlonishwa uZikalala. Sibingelele kubaphathiswa abakhona MEC Work Economic Development, Tourism and Environmental Affairs, MEC Pillay, MEC for Social Development, MEC Khoza, MEC for Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, MEC Hlomuga, Mayor of Gwala District Municipality, Councillor Z.D. Ngumalo, Mayor of the Greater Kokstad Local Municipality, Councillor Bimtolo, the Executive Mayor of King Sabata Dalinjebo, Councillor G.N. Nelane, siyakhuleka emakhosini asendlunkulu aphakathi kwethu. We also would like to greet the Director General of the Department of Women, Youth and Persons with Disabilities, Advocate Maluleke, the CEO of MISA, Mr. Ntandazo Vimba, the HOD of Social Development, all councillors that are present, all members of the disability sector, senior government officials present, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, siyabingelela ekseni namhlanje. Siyafisa ukukhumbuzana ukuthi lo mcimbi esihlangene ngawo umcimbi wokuzohlomisana nokuzohlonyiswa ngamacebo okuthi kuthuthuke umnotho, kodwa uthuthuka umnotho nabantu besifazane, abantu abasha nabantu abakhubazekile bebe yingxenye yawo. Siyacela ukuthi ama cell phones ukuze angaphazamisi afakwe ku silent, lawo akwaziyo ukungena ku silent, lawo angakwazi ukungena ku silent siyacela ukuthi acishwe. Siyacela ukukhumbuzana ukuthi COVID-19 isekhona, ngakho ke njoba sihleli phansi siyacela ukuthi sifake izifonyo ngaphandle makukhona okuphuzayo noma okudlayo, kodwa sihlale sifakile izifonyo ukuze sivikeleke, sivikele nalabo abahleli eduze kwethu. Without any waste of time, may I humbly request the Honorable Premier of this province, Honorable Sihle Zikalala, to come and do the welcoming remarks.
Thank you. Director General, Dr. Mkhize, who is our Program Director today, the Minister of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, Minister Dr. Nkosazane Dlamini Zuma, Minister in the Presidency, Minister responsible for women, youth, and persons with disabilities, Minister Nkwane Mashabane, MECs who are with us, MEC Shlomuga for Kokstad, who's also MEC champion for this district of Gwala, MEC Koza for social development, MEC Pillay for economic development, tourism and environmental affairs, the Mayor of Gwala district, Mayor Ngumalo Zwide, the Mayor of Kokstad local municipality, Mayor Mtolo, the Mayor of King Sabata Dalinjebo Municipality, Mayor Naleni, the Director Generals who are with us, all councillors who are here with us today, as well as amakhosi asendlunkulu nabaholi bonke bomdabu, compatriots, ladies and gentlemen, siyanibingelela nonke sanibonani. On behalf of the provincial government of KwaZulu-Natal, we welcome you, our valued guest, to this important gathering. Nonke kuthina nibalulekile. Siyabonga ukuba nani sihlanganyele nani namuhla. Siyafisa ukubonga ko-minister abanathi ukuthi sikwazi ukuzoxoxisana ngokuvula amathuba for abantu besifazane, intsha nabakhubazekile, especially amathuba ezomnotho kwi-project esiyibiza nge-Eastern Seaboard Development Project. Sifisa ukubonga uhulumeni kazwelonke nohulumeni weprovince nomasipala ngombono wokuthi masibeke phambili amalungelo abo bonke abantu, especially ilungelo lokuthi abantu babe ingxenye yomnotho. Lo mcimbi wanamuhla wenzeka esikhathini la izwe lethu likhumbula khona ukuthi amalungelo abantu ake acindezelwa. Yingakho sinenyanga yamalungelo okuyinyanga kaMashi. Siyenza lenyanga ukuzikhuthaza futhi sivuselele ukuthi sivikele amalungelo awo wonke umuntu, and siqinisekise ukuthi abantu bayawa-enjoya lawo malungelo. Kodwa ke noma sesihamba iminyaka senza okuningi ukushintsha izwe lakithi libe ngcono, iqiniso ukuthi akuwona wonke umuntu okwazi uku-enjoya ilungelo lakhe ngokufana nabanye abantu. Iqiniso lithi labo abangenalutho bayithola bengakwazi ukuthi bagubhe kumbe ba-enjoye amalungelo abo ngokufana nabanye. Yingakho-ke si-afema umbono esiwuholayo njengohulumeni othi generational equality in our time. Uma sithi generational equality, sisho ukuthi kumele kube khona ukulingana kwabantu ngokwempilo, ngokwamathuba, ngokuthi bakwazi ukuzenzela zonke izinto abafisa ukuzenzela zona. Uma sithi generational equality, siqinisekisa futhi ukuzibophezela emzabalazweni wokwenza ngcono impilo zabantu besifazane ukuze bakwazi ukuthi nabo bawa-enjoye lamalungelo esikhuluma ngabo. Iqiniso lithi sivela kuyimumva i-background eyayinzima kakhulu la abantu besifazane babecindezelwe khona. Umuntu wesifazane acindezelwe ngokwebala ukuthi umnyama, acindezelwe ngokuthi ungumsebenzi, kodwa futhi acindezelwe ngokuthi umuntu wesifazane ekhaya. Yingakho-ke siyingxenye yalomcimbi othi nakule project ye-Eastern Seaboard asiqinisekise ukuthi abantu besifazane bayingxenye. Equally, intsha yethu ibaluleke kakhulu. Intsha ngokwezibalo iconstituta iningi labantu abangaqashiwe. Kodwa ngaphe kwalokho intsha iyikusasa lethu. And therefore uma si-investa entsheni, si-investa kubantu abasazophila isikhathi eside babe yikusasa, and kumele sikuyekele ukuthi bayangena emnothweni namathuba afana nalawa siwavule bakwazi ukuparticipate. Siyafisa ukubonga ngaphansi kobuholi buka-Dr. uNkosazane Dlamini Zuma ukuthi bazivumelile ukuthi nabantu abakhubazekile sibenze babe yi-priority kulolu hlelo. Ngoba ekhathini eziningi sisithathe ngokuthi kudinga sibabhekelele ngenhlala kahle, sikhohlwe ukuthi nabo kudinga babe ingxenye yamathuba okusebenza namathuba omnotho, baziphrovile ezintweni ezihlukahlukene ukuthi abantu abakhubazekile nabo bayingxenye yomphakathi, bayazenzela and bayakwazi ukuparticipate. Sibabonile kuma sports begijima kube kuthiwa abakhubazekile, sibabonile bezenzela, sibabonile becula, and therefore kumele sibenze babe ingxenye yethu. Siyakholwa ke ukuthi lolu hlelo luzosilekelela kakhulu. Okwamanje lolu hlelo lwe-Eastern Seaboard luprioritize ama-district amane okuyi Gwala, Ugu, ngokunjalo kube i-Alfred Nzo ne-OR Tambo. Siyafisa ukuthi njenge-KwaZulu-Natal sizibophezele ekutheni sizoqinisekisa ukuthi siba ingxenye ephelele yalo lonke lolu hlelo. Siyazi ukuthi lolu hlelo luzosivulela amathuba amaningi along the coast ukuthi umnotho kulazo ndawo ukwazi ukuvulelekela abantu, isikakhulukazi abantu abakhele lezi indawo esibalayo. Siyazi futhi ukuthi uzoqhakambisa ama-sectors, lolu hlelo luqhakambisa ama-sectors afana ne-tourism, ocean economy, ocean and marine economy, agriculture, energy generation, the creative sector, ukuthuthukiswa kwe-infrastructure, ukuthuthukiswa kwamaciko namakhono. Yingakho ke sithi nabantu besifazane mabangasali ngaphandle, intsha mayingasali ngaphandle, abantu abakhubazekile mabangasali ngaphandle. Masibambisane sakhe iKwaZulu-Natal ethuthukayo, sakhe iSouth Africa ethuthukayo esiyosigqaja ngayo ukuthi igeneration eyolandela iyokwazi ukuphila ezweni elingcono kakhulu kunaleli thina esiphile kulo. Siyabonga.
Siyabonga kakhulu Khuzeni amazwi osamkele ngawo. Thank you very much. Siyaqhubeka nohlelo lwethu. We shall now call upon His Worship the Mayor of Gwala District, Councillor Nxumalo, to come and present a statement of commitment okuyibophezela nge district yase Gwala kulombhidlango nalomsebenzi omkhulu kangaka obhekene nathi.
Masibonge kumqondisi walolu hlelo umama uMkhize uphinde abe umqondisi jikelele kwiprovince yaKwaZulu-Natal. Thathe lelithuba ngibingelele kungqongqoshe wakazwelonke wakaKokstad umama uDr Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma. Ngibingelele kuminister umama uMayite Nkwane Mashabane ophethe umnyango wezomama kwi-ofisi lika president, abantu abasha nabantu abakhubazekile. Ngibingelele kundunankulu wethu esifundazwe ubaba uKhuzeni. Ngibingelele ku MEC ubaba uLavi Philey waka Etia, umama uMakhoza, mama uKhoza osuka kuyona le district yakithi ophethe izenhlala kahle. ubaba uHlomuka uphinde abe MEC champion wethu la eHerry Gwala, umeya uMtolo wakule local municipality esikuyona la, yabona kusefikile nomama uNgubo waseBhlebezwe, umeya uGN Nelane wase KSD. Ngibingelele kubantwana basendlunkulu, ngiyababona naba bakhona la bantwana begazi, siyabonga makhosi ukuthi nikhona la. Sibingelele ku-advocate Joyce Maluleka osebenza ODG lapha kumama uMayite Mashabane. Sibingelele ku-CEO weMISA umfowethu uVimba, wonke amakhansela khona la esibongayo ukuthi ayeza ukuzosekela lo mcimbi esikuwona la. Ama-members aphila nokukhubazeka khona la, senior government officials, nawo wonke nje umuntu okhona la ngokweyinhlaka abasuka kuzona. Egameni le-district nami as umeya uNxumalo ngithi mangiphakame ngisho kule nginginya egcwele le youth center yase Kokstad ukuthi siyalesekela lolu hlelo lwe-Eastern Seaboard development. Sibheke likhuluke kulona, umuntu makasho ukuthi uyiproduct eKZN yenye program efuna ukufana nale ekuthiwa uvukuzakhe, esayibona ithuthukisa abaningi osomabhizinisi. At the same time sayibona isa intuthuko eningi emphakathini. Lolo hlelo ke sasiyingxenye siyikomiti elisuka emphakathini kwakuthiwa i-Rural Road Transport Forum, engifisayo ndunankulu ukuthi angathi lingabuya ngendlela ekukhalwa ngayo ngesimo semigwaqo eKZN. Ngezikhathi siseva lapha sasibizwa ngabaluleki baka-MEC uNdebele, la sasisho khona ukuthi ngakithi umgwaqo kanje umi kanje, bese umnyango wabe ibudget eya lapho. Sasiphinde futhi sibe yinhloli zomnyango ukuthi izinkontraki zenza lokho kuyikona kufanele ukuthi ziyakwenza. Ingakho nje ngifisa ukuthi ngixhase into ephathelene nabantu balapha ekuhlaleni, ngoba ndunankulu ithina labesathi mnyango wezokuthutha ngoba siregraverisha imigaqo year in year out. Ake sivele imigwaqo nje siyakha ibitiyela nasemakhaya, ngoba itiyela lithatha 10 to 15 years uphinde uzokwenza i-maintenance, than ulokuphinda ndawonye makade zinethile imvula kuguguleka inkwali. So lolo hlelo salibona lisala izithelo ezinhle kakhulu. Namhlanje nje kuseni besine council yaseHerry Gwala mamnkosazana, lapho besikhuluma khona nosihlalo we-Women Commission wethu ukuthi wakhuluma kakhulu nge-gender sensitive budget ebheke kubantu besifazane, ngoba isiZulu siyasho ukuthi intandane enhle umakhothwa unina. Amakhosi asendlunkulu kazongivumela mangithi umuzi la kusuke kuhambe khona ubaba ekhaya awujwayele ukuthi ufe ngoba suke kusela umama, kodwa la kusuke kusele khona ubaba ukubone sekumile nokhula nje ubaba esekwezinye indawo engasakwazi ukubhekana nomzi wakhe. So siyayixhasa kakhulu into ethi abantu besifazane mabanikwe lamathuba ngoba bawumgogodla wezwe. Isingisi siyasho ukuthi nendoda ephumelelayo isuke kunokusupportwa okukhulu akwenziwa umuntu wesifazane. So ke ngitheke kwi-council asiqaleni kancane ibudget esizoba nayo, asiqale sibatraine labantu besifazane babe ready, then ke sibafake ku-human settlement projects abanawo ku-Department of Transport nakhona kuthina kuma-project wamanzi, sibambisene nabosida ukwenzela ukuthi uhlelo lokuthuthukiswa kwabantu kakhulukazi besifazane nabakhubazekile nentsha ngoba iyikusasa silibone luthela izithelo. Yilawo ke amazwi aphuma kuthina siyiHerry Gwala district. Sibonga nje naku leadership o minister ukuthi bahamba baze bafika kule district yakithi yase Gwala. Ngiyabonga mphathi ohlelo.
Thank you very much, Your Worship, the Mayor. We will request our speakers to mix the languages, use languages English as well as the other African languages because the audience has got different language speakers. Siyafisa ukukhuleka emakhosini aseNdlunkulu sithobekile ukuthi sinenkosi ubaleni weMabandla Traditional Council nenkosi uNhlabathi weMalenge Traditional Council siyozwa uma ekhona namanye amakhosi siyakhuleka emakhosini aseNdlunkulu. We shall now continue with our program and request the Honorable Minister of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, Minister Dlamini Zuma, to come and speak to us on the role of Kokstad in driving the district development model. Over to you, Honorable Minister.
Good morning, nonke sanibonani. Angibingelele kakhulu ku premier we province, ngibingelele ku minister uMaite osiphathele indaba zamakhosikazi nentsha nabantu abakhubazekile. Let me also greet uSokhaya, uMayor we district Babnqumalo, noSokhaya omunye singayi la wase Kokstad. Sengibingelela o-MEC abakhona, uBabhlomuko i-champion yala, no Mamukhoza, no Babu Pillay. Ngibingelele futhi o-Mayor bonke abakhona. Ngibingelele ngokukhulu ukuzithoba amakhosi esinawo la nezinduna. Let me greet also all the government officials, directors general and all the officials. And then let me greet, more importantly, all of us who have come to this Imbizo. Bingelele sonke sikhona kule Imbizo. Bingelela amakhansela akhona la, no speaker mabekhona, nabo bonke nje abakhona la ngoba le Imbizo izoba iyimpumelelo ngoba nikhona. It is quite actually exciting because we've been meeting on Zooms and the energy when you are meeting on Zoom and the energy when you are amongst yourselves face to face is very different. So I'm happy that now we're meeting face to face. Yes, there'll be occasions for Zooms as well, but let me say it's great that you are together. silana ke endaweni ebizwa ngokuthi Kokstad. Indawo legama lisuka ubaba owayela kudala uAdam Kok. Wesizwe samaKrilikwa. Maybe just to say that the Griquas suffered a lot of dispossession like all of us, who suffered dispossession of our land. They started suffering in different places. They were being dispossessed when there was mining, they would be thrown off. When they wanted to do this, they'll be thrown off their land like all of us. So I won't go into the history, but I thought I should just recall it a bit. Because uma senza i-DDM, sithi uhulumeni wonke akasebenze ndawonye. Ama-departments wonke awasebenze ndawonye. Ohulumeni beyifunda basebenze ndawonye, ohulumeni basemakhaya basebenze ndawonye. Sisebenze ndawonye sonke. Kodwa futhi akugcini lapho. Sithi asisebenze ndawonye sonke esikhona lapho. Amakhosi sifisa ukusebenza nawo, abenkolo, awusomabhizinisi, amakhosikazi, intsha, wonke nje umuntu unelungelo lokuthi abe ingxenye ye-DDM. I was just recalling that bit of history because in the district development model, we say that all government departments must work together, but must also work together with all the spheres of government, the provincial and the local sphere. But we don't end there. We say everyone who is there must participate. The traditional leadership must participate, religious, business, youth, women, NGOs, everyone who is in an area must participate. Now, mina ke njengoba ngikhuluma, ngizokhuluma nge-advantage. Hayi yobungqongqoshe yokuthi ngiyisakhamuzi sala eGwala. Kukithi la. So mangikhuluma abaphathiswa no premier ngizobe nabo ngibaphathisa njengesakhamuzi. So ngizokhuluma njengongqongqoshe ngibuye ngikhulume njengesakhamuzi sala. Angizenyezi ke mina ngokuphuma emakhaya. Ngiphuma emakhaya angizenyezi ngaloko ngakhulela khona ngazalelwa khona ngongcwatshwa khona futhi. But eksikushoyo ukuthi njengoba kunalolu hlelo abantu basemakhaya akufanelanga one babukelwe phansi, kwesibili bashiwe ezintweni. Kufanele abantu basemakhaya babe ingxenye yokwenzekayo. I'll take a bit longer because I'll have to translate into English, Zulu English. I'm just saying that as I speak on two, I'm using two heads. The government head of being Minister of Kokstad, but more importantly, the head of being a resident of Gwala. I was born here, bred here, and I'll die here and be buried here. And I'm not ashamed of being a rural person. And therefore, in the district development model, we are saying the people in the rural areas are important. Secondly, they should not be left behind. Everything that's happening in the country, they must be involved and they must benefit from that. Maybe just a brief history of why we chose these 4 districts. In South Africa, when we looked at the 10 poorest districts in the country, this district where we are is amongst the 10 poorest districts. O.R. Tambo, Alfred Nzo is amongst the 10 poorest districts. And so, because they are together, we decided to start here. We're not ending here. We're starting here, and we're going to declare this as a region for the sake of development, so that the 4 districts form a region that should develop together and complement one another instead of compete with one another. So, but if you look at the 10 poorest districts, Mangagi La Prime, I think there are 6 poorest districts here, KZN, 2 Gwala, Limpopo, and 2 Eastern Cape. So it made sense to start here, because if we are to make a difference in terms of poverty, it makes sense to start here. But also we wanted to have a program that puts this DTM into action. We see it in action rather than just talking about it. So, let district development model. Sikhethe lama district amane ngokuthi sithe masibuka ama district anabantu abampofu kunawo wonke la eSouth Africa. Thola ukuthi kulawa amane awu3 akulawo ma district ampofu kunawo wonke masithatha nje ayishumi. So sizoyenza ibe i-region for development, for sake of development, ukuze bathuthu umnotho wala uthuthuke ngokubambisana, hayi ngokuqhudelana, but ngokubambisana. So ke enye into eyenze ukuthi sibe la asugcina la kodwa la sifuna ukuthi siqale khona. Le district ke sikuyona namhlanje kuthiwa iHarry Gwala. Mhlamba ke siyikhumbuza ukuthi ubani yena lo Harry Gwala. Ngoba mhlambe ikenge encane kakhulu ayizukhumbula ukuthi or ayizukwazi ukuthi ubani uHarry Gwala. uHarry Gwala ke womunye wabalweli benkululeko bala eSouth Africa baqavile. Wayibizwa ngokuthi umuntu omdala, kwesikhathi abizwe ngokuthi Lion of the Midlands. Lawo magama omabili ayefana naye. Hayi ukuthi waye umuntu omdala ngoba egugile, waye umuntu omdala ngengqondo nangesigalelo lakhe. Lion of the Midlands ngoba wayenesibindi, wayengasabi lutho. Okwakufanele kwenzeke kwakwenzeka. Wayengeyena nje umuntu osabayo. So le region ke le district inomsebenzi omkhulu ngoba kufuneka iphile isebenze njengaye, njengoba ibizwa ngaye. Ngeke nithi nibiza ngoHarry Gwala niba magwala nini. Wayengelona igwala, wayeyi-Lion of Midlands. Futhi wayekhuthele, bakhuthalela abantu. Futhi ubaba uGwala kwenye interview yakhe waxoxa ukuthi ubaba wakhe wayekhubazekile ehleli kwi-wheelchair, kodwa ezimele eze eqasha abantu besebenza belima benzani akazange asho ukuthi ngoba ukhubazekile sekufanele ukuthi ayokhangeza kahulumeni. Wayengaziki ukuthi naye kothi ekuhambeni kwesikhathi naye akhubazeke, kodwa wathi noma esekhubazekile ubaba uGwala wayephaka impe ekhubazekile njalo makufanele kuliwe. So Funeka sonke sibe nalawo mfutho okusebenza njengaye njengoba siqanjwe ngegama lakhe. Kuloku ke esizokwenza namhlanje uKokstad umsebenzi wakhe kuloku ukuthi asebenzisane coordinate all the departments, all the spheres. We play a coordinating role. But in playing that coordinating role, we also identified something that we saw happening or not happening in the municipalities. One of those was that there was no economic development to speak about in most districts, except the metros and the big towns. Whereas the constitution says there must be socio-economic development in the municipalities. So we were not following our constitution. So now we're saying the constitution must be followed. There must be socio-economic development in every district, in every municipality. Sithi-ke kulolu hlelo uKokstad uyena umdidiyeli wawo wonke uhulumeni nabantu abangekho kuhulumeni kulolu hlelo. Thina sabadidiyeli. Funeka silande uhulumeni kazwelonke, silande lo wesifunda, silande lo omasipala, silande lo somabhizinisi, amakhosi, sididiyele wonke umuntu. Iwo kumsebenzi wethu lo. Ekudidiyeleni wonke umuntu sibadidiyelelani. Sibadidiyela ukuthi kube nentuthuko, kube nenqubekela phambili, kube nomnotho kuma district nakomasipala. Ngoba umthetho wesisekelo usho njalo, uthi omasipala kufuneka benze ukuthuthuka komnotho nokuthuthuka kwenhlalakahle emakhaya, balethe neinsiza emakhaya. Kodwa sithi ke thina kulelu hlelo siyiKokstad nohulumeni wonkana angeke siuyekelele omasipala lo umsebenzi, ngoba yonke intuthuko yenzeka komasipala. So ngeke sisho ukuthi uhulumeni kazwelonke nowesifunda uyaphumelela ekwenzeni intuthuko ubingekho intuthuko phansi komasipala emawodini. Yiko ke sithi wonke umuntu kufanele abe ingxenye yalokubambisana ukuze kwakheke umnotho emakhaya. Umnotho emakhaya ubalekile ngezathu eziningi. Balekile ukuthi kube nomnotho emakhaya ukuze abantu babe nendlela yokuphila, bengaze bacele kuhulumeni yonke into, imphakathi thuthuke. Omasipala nabo bakwazi ukuthola intela la kubantu bakhona emakhaya. Kanti futhi kubalekile nakwabasemadolobheni nemetro. Kubalekile kumetro ukuthi indawo zasemakhaya zithuthuke zibe nomnotho. Ngobani? Ngoba abantu masemakhaya kufanele baye edolobheni ngentando, ngoba bethanda ukuya edolobheni. Hayi ngoba befosekile kungaphileki emakhaya. Funeka kuphileke emakhaya, ofuna ukuhlala ekhaya asebenze khona, phile khona, enze ibhizinisi khona, ahlale. Ofuna ukuya edolobheni aye out of choice, not out of desperation. So kubaluleke ukuthi nasonke ukuthi amakhaya, indawo zasemakhaya zithuthuke. Akubalekile nje kuthina kuphela basemakhaya nabasemadolobheni, ngoba amadolobha ayahluleka nawo ukwenza umsebenzi wawo. Ngoba siyafika sivele emakhaya kungaphileki emakhaya, sicabanga ukuthi sofike sithola imisebenzi emadolobheni, sigcine sesakha imjondolo, sigcina sesingasenawo amanzi, singenawo ugesi. Sekufanele ukuthi baphume nabo kuma program abo bazosifakela ugesi, bazosizamela amanzi, basizamela izindlu. kade bengaplananga. So it's very important that rural districts develop and have economic activities so that the rural people stay there if they choose to, and they only go to the city out of choice. Because the metros will never be able to develop themselves. Because if every year they are going to receive unplanned numbers of people who are coming there desperate, looking for jobs, looking for accommodation, it means it diverts them from their own programs because they can't leave the people without water, without electricity. So they have to divert to those people. And the people go thinking that they are going to get jobs quickly and have a house and so on, and find that it's not like that. They are just swelling the urban poor, the ranks of the urban poor. So it's very important that we develop. So sengizoqeda intsha ibalulekile ukuthi ibe ingxenye yokuthuthuka, ibe ingxenye yosomabhizinisi, ibe ingxenye yento eyenzekayo emakhaya. Omama, bantu besifazana abancane nabakhulile, babalulekile ukuthi nabo babe ingxenye yezinto ezenzekayo zentuthuko, ngoba bayajwayela ukuthi basale ngaphandle. Funeka sikhulume nanamabhange, ngoba amabhange ayathanda ukuthi iproject makweye youth or umsebenzi kowe youth noma kowamama banqene ukubanika imali. Kodwa kuyaziwa ukuthi futhi ibona ababuyisayo kalula, abakhokha kalula. Kodwa kunzima mawumama noma uyintsha ukuthola uxhaso emabhange ngento ofuna ukuyenza. Kodwa ke intsha nabomama kufanele babe namakhono. Kwathiwa kufuneka kube ne-skills revolution. Kusafuneka ke siyenze i-evaluation ukuthi sikuphi nale skills revolution. Ngoba umnotho ngeke uzukhule uma singenawo amakhono okwenza izinto. Amakhono akasisho ukuthi wonke umuntu kufanele abe unjiniyela noma kufanele abe uprofessor, kodwa kufanele ukuthi sibe namakhono okwenza izinto emphakathini, okwenza izinto zamabhizinisi. Amakhono ayafuneka. So kufuneka ukuthi sibaqeqesha abantu ukuthi babe nalawo makhono. We are also saying that youth and women are very important in this program. And we must talk to the banks because we find that it's very difficult for women or young people to be supported by the banks financially. They struggle a lot. And yet young people are very innovative. They come with excellent programs. And women, we know that women also pay back better than anybody else. But when they want support from the financial institutions, it's difficult. We must also look at our departments and municipalities. How much of procurement goes to women and youth? We must also do that and see whether we are keeping to what we are supposed to do, including my own department. We must look at that. The DGs and DDGs and all the senior managers must make sure that young people, women, we are not leaving out men. We are just saying women and youth because they've been outside. We want them to come in. The men are already in. So we're not excluding them because sometimes they may think we're excluding them. No. Kuthiwa ke ngesizulu kuthiwa okwehlulayo kuyabikwa, okwehlula amadoda kuyabikwa, bikwa kubanike. Angisezuqedela. So that's why women are so important. But also, as umeya kadesho, omama bayawabamba makhaya noma baba bengekho. If unikeza omama umnotho, ingane ngeke zilambe, ingane ngeke zingayi esikoleni, umuzi ngeke ungasimami. Obaba bayazama kodwa kwesinye isikhathi bayathatheka ezintweni eziningana engeke ngizibala. kodwa banako ukuthatheka abanye obaba. Kodwa omama isikhathi esiningi bayazinza, bawubamba umuzi. So yiko sithi kufanele babe khona, babe ingxenye yako konke okwenzekayo. Kodwa ke ukuze umnotho usimame ube khona, kufanele siqale sizibuze ukuthi yini esinayo la eHerigwala. Angizukwandaka, I'm sure abazolandela bazokhuluma ngalokho. Yini esinayo? Yini engenza ukuthi sakhele phezukwayo umnotho ukhule la eHerigwala? Into yokuqala mina engithi sinayo, which is our most precious resource, abantu bakhona, and iningi labo is young, energetic, innovative. So amakhosikazi akhona majority la eHerigwala, about 53% of the population ekhona la abantu besifazane. So that's an advantage. We have beautiful country. We have got breathtaking landscapes here. We've got fertile land. We have the cleanest air in South Africa. Let me explain this cleanest air in South Africa. You know, in South Africa, we're the only district that has produced the first African to win the New York Marathon. First African to win the New York Marathon came from this district. The first African to win the Comrades up and down to Durban and back comes from this district. Now, when that happened, Athletics South Africa got curious. This is just a dusty place. There's nothing here to speak about. Why is it producing such good marathon runners? They then did research. They found that two things that are an advantage were on high altitude here. Secondly, they said we have the cleanest air in South Africa. And Ubaba Nxumalo, I think, was there when the president of Athletics South Africa was telling us this. So it's not just, it's research that was done based on the achievements of the people of this district. So why Singenayo i-training center, sports training center enkulu? Funeka sikhulume no-minister, iyadingeka. In fact, funeka sibe nendawo nje, even marathon runners abaphuma kwamanye amazwe bazospend inyanga be-practice la, getting the thin air and the advantage of high altitude. Tourism, health tourism, sibe namaspa, abantu baphume umhlaba wonke bazophefumula umoya clean. But ke angizukhuluma kakhulu ngoba bakhona bazosho lokho. Bengisho nje mina ukuthi Kokstad ididiyelani, iyadidiyela ukuze kwenzekeni. Just to conclude, this is so that we can have communities that are sustainable, communities that are prosperous, communities that are resilient, are non-sexist, are climate smart, are connected, and are proud of themselves. That's what, if we say this is succeeding, it must produce those kind of communities. Sifuna imphakathi yethu ibe imphakathi ekwaziyo ukuthi noma ngabe kwenzekani ibe sustainable. Isizulu ke sustainable kanti kuthiwani? Siyangilahla ke manje. Kodwa ibe imphakathi nje eqinile ekwazi ukumela zonke izivunguvungu ezikhona. Ibe imphakathi enothile, prosperous. Ibe imphakathi exhumene, kusho ukuthi kufanele i-broadband ibe khona, sikwazi ukuba sixhumane nomhlaba nathi sixhumane sisodwa. Sikwazi ukuthi i-climate change ingasifici singahlakaniphile, sikwazi ukuyimela, sibe imphakathi eziqhenyayo ukuthi la siyakwazi ukuproduce ukudla esikudlayo size sikuthumele kwabanye, la siyakwazi ukwenza ukuthi, la siyakwazi ukwenza ukuthi, siyimphakathi yala. Umsebenzi kaKokstad kuyo yonke lento ilowo. Ngiyabonga.
Thank you very much to our minister. The message is loud and clear. Amadoda avela ngaphakathi. Men are already in. Therefore, we have a responsibility to bring women, young people, and persons with disabilities in as well. Thank you very much, Minister. We are proceeding with our program. We shall now humbly request Minister Nkwane Mashabane, who is the minister in the presidency, responsible for women, youth, and persons with disabilities, to share with us why we have this Imbizo from the perspective of the department. Thank you.
Program Director, outside this beautiful buildings, we address each other as Skoni. So don't ask why. It's deeper than you may want to contemplate why it is like that. I think you've been a very apt program director for this morning. But let me start after acknowledging Dr. Mkize, our program director, acknowledge the presence of Honorable Minister of Kokstad, Minister Dr. Nkosazana Zuma, Honorable Premier Zihle Zigalala, the host Premier of KwaZulu-Natal, Honorable MEC for Economic Development, Tourism and Environmental Affairs, Mr. Pillay, Honorable MEC for Social Development here in KwaZulu-Natal, Ms. Nhlanhla Khoza, Honorable MEC for Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, S.E. Shomuka, Councillor Z.D. Numalo, Executive Mayor of Gwala District, Mr. Ntandazo Mvimba. Mr. Ntandazo Mvimba is the CEO of Municipal Infrastructure Support Agent. Other colleagues couldn't make it, but let me also acknowledge traditional leaders who are present here today with us. Kaswedi bara baka moshate, baka mafata magolo, baka mafata matelele. This would not have been if you were not here. Bumomobu. Director Generals of different departments who are present here, senior government officials, other VVIPs of this Imbizo are the citizens of this district, of the lion of this province, the late Date Harry Gwala. This Imbizo is a very important Imbizo, not only to me, but to women, unsung heroines throughout the country. Why do I say so? This is one of the very few, if not the first attempt, where one day, sitting in cabinet, when we say we are free as a country that has been under apartheid for more than 80 years, we should start a new city. A city where we will not come to be add-ons, but as a city. And one of them was, we pointed at this area. Honorable Minister Dlamini Zuma had already said a lot of good things about this area. You know, when you've been oppressed for too long, you get used to the culture of following. You don't think, now that I'm free, I need to start something that is started by me. This is my country. This is me. The Constitution say we should not discriminate against the others. But we cannot stay in a place where there are no new cities since 1994. They are all add-ons of something. Mau fika kule ndawo ufana ube add-on. Ufanele unqonqoze because bakhona bafike kudala, bafike before you. We think this area, Honorable Minister and distinguished guests, the Eastern Seaboard gives us an opportunity to do exactly that because it's got the wherewithal. It's got the people, it's got the most important people, the most hardworking people who are never counted anywhere. Women, youth, and people with disabilities. They will forever remain add-ons in other cities if this Eastern Seaboard development also becomes a dream. So, siyacela kuni amakhosi, kuni amakhosikazi, to the leadership in this room, from premier to district mayors, let's rise up. But this time, let's rise up with the people who know how. Women. I say the people who know how, but because by October, they always wait to be invited. Hey, Mama, youth, people with disabilities, here is an opportunity. The invitation is long overdue, it's open. So, take up your space. Here, we can work and play on land and sea. Here, we can own a big business right inland and big ships at sea. You know, my heart always sinks when I get invited to this investor meetings. And women will be 2 or 3 sitting in some dark corners there, as if they are not really important. So we started making noise. Then we started seeing recycling of the same old faces. Those who have already arrived on their own. I think this is my 3rd visit in this area. The first, we were coming to launch with Minister Dlamini Zuma and the President, the Eastern Seaboard. Second, I don't want to remember that day quite often, because as a department, we also are responsible for the well-being of women, young women, and disabled women. It was the day when a young man just woke up from some corner and slaughtered a young woman. When he finished, he also went to buy a saw blade, a brand new saw blade, azomjikijela umzimba wakhe, for no good reason. Very painful day. Then I came back yesterday. By the time we arrived here in the evening, it was a bit breezy. COVID-19 has not been kind to any country in the whole world, including South Africa. At the time when I came, the streets were open and clean because it was during the time when there was a lockup. Now, you know who come out to fend for children when things are almost like, okay, women. So it was around 6 o'clock in the evening yesterday. Women were in the streets, back in the streets, because they were back into their homes, unfortunately to be killed. Now they are back in the streets, same old way, carrying pitches. I almost said the car must stop. I just started feeling that anger coming up. It's either they are carrying these things on their heads, moving closer to the cars. But COVID. But but what is in their minds? It's the household. If I don't come here. Peaches are beautiful. How you wish they could be sold in beautiful sites or within beautiful sites. But this is the story of a woman of South Africa. Wake up early, go get the peaches, go get something, mama and zinani, in anything that you can sell in the street. Maktua, we Municipalities is women. Unattend, not the way it's done in places where men, women, all workers are given dignity. Uzoyithola kanjani uhlele khoneni? So city, Eastern Seaboard should be the first city where women don't come in as invitees. They must be part of the development from the outset. They must own ships. They must own shops where nails, the biggie, where they are made. They must be in every corner. It is their right to be. Particularly in this month, if March, it's Human Rights Month in South Africa. Women fought for freedom. Comrade Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma fought for freedom, and many others here. They did not come as invitees. I think the mistake we committed was to assume that when 1994 came, things are just go, and we have the right to vote and to be voted for, things will just follow. Good things only. No. We still have to make sure that we create space. This time, we want space for economic development. We don't want to see what I saw yesterday. I'm sure it's going to be, it's a story of the life of a woman. Take care of the family, take care of the children, raise them, educate them, feed them, go out in the street. This time, when they say a marathon runner, they mean a man. Not that they can't be women who can win, but they don't get time. So, Nisbopil here in KZN Premier, women are not going to be visitors. Women are not going to be invitees. They are going to be part and parcel of every inch of development of the Eastern Seaboard, because you will champion that. Because all of us, Sisbopile, Sila, City, we don't want beyond the Imbizo. We want to see the development starting and women being counted as those who started it. We are not saying women only, men and women. Black people are very generous. Eastern Seaboard is another opportunity to give them space that they were not only generous with Mhlaba Wabo, but they can also participate in the mainstream of the economy, particularly women, youth, people with disabilities. So this Imbizo is holla palafala. We say space and opportunity has been identified. So all business entities, be them be owned by government or by the private sector, open your arms, embrace women, youth, and people with disabilities. They are not asking for favors. They just want to participate. Yes, they need jobs, but yes, they can also hire. Yes, they need skills. Yes, they are also educated. So don't lump them in one corner and continue doing things that used to happen to women during apartheid. We want to feel the freedom. We want to be part of it. We want to participate in the mainstream of economy. The president of this country a few months ago said, because we say we want to come out, it's 2 years of COVID, and the soul of those who passed away rest in peace. We want to re-engineer, we want to rejig the economy. Let us not go back to the same old way of doing things. If the economy has to be rebuilt, let it be in style. Let it be that this is 2020. This is not 1994. Because, you know, I don't know how many excuses have I had in my adult life about how women, youth, and persons with disabilities cannot get opportunities but can be taken care of when they take care of the nation. I think the buck stops here. I also believe that because majority of the citizens in Gwala district, our hero, are women, let's not disrespect them. Let's just push women. Women, let's push. Let's not wait to be invited in our feast. This is a very, very beautiful place. That's why I say this is a place where we can work and play, but this is where we should bury poverty, because we will be there, and we will not be the add-ons. We will be part of, if it's a miracle to start a new town in a new democracy, we will be part of that. Malibongwe. Igama lamakhosikazi. Thank you.
Igama lamakhosikazi, igama lamakhosikazi, malibongwe, 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 malibongwe. Ibambeke. Usuke wabaphansi. Igama lamakhosikazi, malibongwe. Igama lamakhosikazi, malibongwe, 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 malibongwe. Siyabonga. Thank you very much, Minister. Nomusukhiphe indaba engaziwa nje kaSikoni. Before we take the next presentation, we humbly request our colleagues, government officials, to please allow the delegates to this Imbizo. There are delegates that are standing outside that cannot be allowed to come in because there's no space. We humbly request government officials to allow the delegates to come in. Respectfully so. We shall now request the CEO of MISA, that is the Municipal Infrastructure Support Agent, to do a presentation on the Eastern Seaboard Development, DDM in action. We had requested that we be provided with copies for our principals, as they will not be able to see the screen. If those copies could be brought forward, please, before we start, or they're already here. Thank you very much. Over to you, colleague.
Thank you very much, DG, Program Director. Bingelele, leadership. Honorable Minister Dlamini Zuma, Honorable Thank you very much. Ngizabingelela Honorable MECs, MEC Khoza, MEC Lomuga, Honorable Executive Mayors present here, Mayor Ngumalo, Mayor Mtolo, Mayor Ngubo, Executive Mayor Nelane of King Sabata Lenyebo Municipality, Amakhosi, Yabulisa, Bulise, Komama, Nolucha, and people with disabilities, our key stakeholders,
in this session today. I will preface our presentation by borrowing from one of the greatest leaders of our liberation, Pixley Kaisaka Seme. I quote, "A brighter day is rising upon Africa. Already I see her chains dissolved and her desert plains red with harvest. The regeneration of Africa belongs to this new and powerful period. It means that a new and unique civilization is soon to be added to the world. This civilization shall be thoroughly spiritual and humanistic. Indeed, a regeneration, moral and eternal." Close quote. So we preface this Eastern Seaboard development with this prophetic word because we believe that the district development model brings us closer to this brighter day. Our minister has spoken at length about what district development model is about. I will just, at a very high level, highlight the key objectives of the district development model. Firstly, we are a unitary state with functions that are distributed at a national level, functions that are distributed at a provincial level, functions that are distributed at a local level. But these functions can only be achieved or performed or executed when these three spheres work together as one. Therefore, DDM seeks to say we need to make sure that we work together and we close the silos that exist because of these spheres.